This is the first time that I've ever shown anybody this specific location. It's one of the highest elevation points on my land, and with the leaves falling off the trees, you can actually see the mountains off in the distance. I don't know how well this inexpensive phone is going to pick that up, but they should look bluish out there to you. As you increase distance between yourself and a distant object, there's going to be increasing amounts of atmosphere between you. So it creates a bluish color on everything. Even like a green trees will look bluer the further away they are. That's one of those things that I notice immediately whenever I look at like a landscape painting. And it kind of surprises me how many artists will leave out that kind of detail, which is so critical. I think it's a misconception that what makes a good artist is their mechanical ability to actually draw things, but really their most valuable skill is observation. Uh, Art is a seeing art. They need to be able to see those little details that the general public just glances over and doesn't pay attention to. Because you've probably noticed that where you looked at a piece of art and you thought to yourself, well, there's nothing technically wrong with it, but it still just kind of feels off. There's probably something like that that's just left off that it doesn't seem apparent, but our natural mind knows that needs to be there. So if you do have the ability to see those kinds of details, learning to transfer it mechanically onto the paper is I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is a skill that with practice can be learned. And even today, I mean, most art is done on electronic devices which have software and tools which do all that stuff for you. But anyways, kind of feels like a magical place up here to me. And I think that's partially because I kind of have to go out of my way to climb up here, and it's clearly been untouched by human hands, so it just feels really natural. So whenever I need a place to come sit for 15 minutes and clear my head, this is kind of my chosen area. I think everybody should have a magical area. If you decide to just go there and spend time alone, or whether you choose to share it with somebody else, it's up to you, but it just makes you feel better coming to an area like this. I even feel kind of weird about operating the phone here. It feels like it's kind of disrespectful, like I'm interrupting the natural flow of things, especially when I'm trying to foster a healthy relationship with the forest spirits. You know, I have no fear of things that are allergic to bullets, but you definitely do not want a primordial entity working against you. So maybe when I'm done here, I'll leave some little peace offering. They seem to really like butter. Or maybe that's just the armadillos that like butter. Today is Thanksgiving, and that had me thinking a little bit. What does it mean to give thanks? And sure, it's become kind of a excuse for people to eat gluttonously and get drunk, and that's fine. You know, it is meant to be a holiday that's celebrated with a grand feast. So, absolutely, enjoy your meal and whatever you do. That's great. But for me, like you know, I'm spending it alone, so I'll have a modest meal like I usually do, and I haven't drank in over 10 years, so I'd rather use this time today to just kind of ponder some ideas I've had, and it's had me thinking about my distant ancestors. I'm not talking so much about, you know, the more recent great grandparents that immigrated here from Europe. I mean more further back than that, 1,000 years, 10, 100,000 years, way, way, way back. And I think of how I am here right now in this place because countless generations of humans before me lived in. And how did they live? What kind of conditions were they in? I'm willing to bet that my quality of life is way better than every last one of them. And that's something to be thankful for. If they hadn't went through all their struggles, I mean, some of them may have been in battles and wars. Some may have been invaded by other peoples. Uh, some may have starved, been through the worst of weather conditions. Who knows? You'll never know about that far back what individual people went through. But they went through stuff, that's for sure. So I have to be thankful for everything I have. Sure, in this past year, moving out here and living primitively, I've been through some difficult things of my own. You know, I get through it. Most importantly, the loss of my beloved dog. And I mean, I've shed more tears in the past year than any man wants to admit to. But in spite of the bad things, I've had all kinds of wonderful experiences I would have never had otherwise and learned so much. I have to be thankful for my parents. Um, they're the best parents anybody could ask for. It had to have been difficult having a son who just his entire life had to live so far out of social norms. But in spite of that, they always were there for me. So I'm very thankful for them. And I miss their dog, Molly. My parents, at least I can call on the phone and talk to, and we understand there's distance between us. But being able to see Molly girl on a regular basis is something I miss. And I'm thankful for all the dogs that I've had in my life. Most recently, it was Brutus, but before him, it was Bundy, Moose, Sammy, Jake, Lucy, Bud, Max, Mitzi. I mean, they all have a little place in my heart. I have more family and friends back home and coworkers, former coworkers, that I miss seeing all of them too. It is until you're separated from people that you start to realize how much you actually cared about them. So I look forward to the next time I get to see each of them. And I'm thankful for all you subscribers that watch these videos. I mean, a year ago when I started this channel, I had no idea what it was going to be like. It was mainly a way for me to make videos to keep in touch with my people back home so they can kind of see the things I'm doing and whatnot. And I figured if even a year later my only two subscribers were my mother and my best friend, like I would still be doing these videos for them. But it turns out a bunch of other people were interested as well and have tuned in. And that's pretty amazing. When I looked this morning, it was over 730 subscribers. To me, that is a lot of people to be interested in what I have to say. It's very humbling. I don't know. As more people have been added into my circle through this channel, uh, I've wanted to expand a little bit and not just focus on the people I know well, but also discuss things that I think could be helpful, my experiences and thoughts and ideas with a wider group of people. Because I've had people contacting me from all over the world. Isn't that just amazing? We can complain all we want about these social media platforms and whether they're a good thing or not, and the issues that come with them. But the fact is it allows us to connect with a bunch of people that we never would have otherwise, and receive a bunch of information that we wouldn't have gotten too. So I'm thankful for this and what it's how it's enriched my life, being able to make these videos and connect to so many good people. So I hope all you guys have a good Thanksgiving, and whatever you're doing today, enjoy it. Be thankful for everything you have, and be thankful for the people in your life. I mean, everything you've got can be taken away from you in an instant at any moment. You just never know. So even something as simple as just a little magical spot like this with a good view, enjoy that as well. Wish you guys the best.